Welcome to Learn from Audio, where we break down powerful ideas from best-selling books. Today, we're diving into one of the most eye-opening books on personal finance ever written, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This book has changed millions of lives by challenging what we've been taught about money, wealth, and success. And today, I'm going to share those lessons with you. If you've ever felt stuck in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, or wondered why the rich keep getting richer while others struggle, then listen closely. This might just change your perspective on money forever. So, sit back, relax, and let's begin. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two father figures, each with completely different views on money and success. His real father, whom he calls Poor Dad, was a highly educated man, a school principal who believed in the traditional path to success. Get good grades, go to college, find a stable job, and work hard. On the other hand, his best friend's father, whom he calls Rich Dad, was a high school dropout who became a wealthy businessman. He taught Robert lessons about money that completely contradicted what Poor Dad believed. So Robert had a choice to make: follow his Poor Dad's advice and live an ordinary life, or follow Rich Dad's advice and learn how to make money work for him. Let's dive into the 6 biggest lessons Robert learned from his rich dad. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. At 9 years old, Robert had already decided he wanted to be rich. He and his best friend, Mike, often wondered why some people had wealth while others struggled. Their curiosity led them to Mike's father, a man they would later call Rich Dad. Unlike Robert's own father, who valued education and job security, Rich Dad had built his fortune through entrepreneurship and investing. He saw money differently. Instead of telling them how to get rich, he gave them a job. Every Saturday, Robert and Mike woke up early to work at one of Rich Dad's small grocery stores. Their tasks were simple: stocking shelves, sweeping floors, and doing whatever was needed. The pay: 10 cents an hour. At first, earning money felt exciting. But as weeks passed, the thrill faded. 10 cents an hour was barely enough for a single comic book. The frustration built, and Robert began to question whether hard work truly led to wealth. One day, he reached his breaking point. Working felt pointless. The harder he tried, the less rewarding it seemed. He realized something was off. There had to be another way. Most people spend their lives working for money instead of making money work for them. The cycle is predictable. Wake up, go to work, get a paycheck, pay bills, and repeat. They are driven by fear and greed, fear of being broke and greed for material comforts. They stay in jobs they dislike because they fear instability. They spend every paycheck trying to keep up with a lifestyle that never truly satisfies them. Wealthy individuals see things differently. They understand that working harder for someone else isn't the answer. Instead of being controlled by money, they learn how to control it. Rich Dad knew that real financial education doesn't come from school. So, he decided to teach Robert and Mike in a different way. He stopped paying them. With no income, the boys were forced to think. At first, they felt lost, but soon they noticed an opportunity. Old comic books were being discarded at the store. They collected them and turned Mike's basement into a library, charging kids a small fee to read unlimited comics. Without lifting a finger, money started flowing in. The business worked without their constant effort. This was the breakthrough. They had moved from working for money to creating a system where money worked for them. This experience changed Robert's perspective on wealth forever. First, the poor and middle class work for money. The rich make money work for them. Second, fear and greed keep people trapped in jobs they dislike, always chasing a paycheck. Third, true wealth comes from understanding how to spot and create opportunities. And fourth, money isn't earned through harder work alone. It's built through smart financial decisions and passive income. This lesson wasn't just about earning. It was about thinking differently. It was about stepping outside the cycle that most people remain stuck in and learning how to create lasting wealth. So, the question remains, are you working for money, or is money working for you? Lesson 2. Why teach financial literacy? Most people believe that making more money is the key to wealth, but Rich Dad knew better. He explained to Robert that wealth isn't just about how much you make, but about how much you keep and how you grow it. This lesson would prove to be one of the most important in Robert's financial journey. Many people assume that if they could just earn a little more money, all their financial problems would disappear. But the reality is different. Rich Dad explained that most people, regardless of how much they earn, are stuck in a cycle called the rat race. They increase their income, but they also increase their expenses. A pay raise leads to buying a bigger house, a new car, or taking on more debt. Before they know it, they're back to square one, living paycheck to paycheck. More money doesn't solve financial problems. It often makes them worse because people don't know how to manage it. Rich Dad pointed out that some of the highest paid professionals, doctors, lawyers, and executives, often struggle financially. Despite their impressive incomes, they lack financial security because they don't understand the difference between an asset and a liability. The rich have a secret. They buy assets, not liabilities. Assets put money in your pocket. They generate income, grow in value, or provide financial security. Examples include rental properties, stocks, businesses, and intellectual property. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. They drain your income without providing any return. A mortgage, car payments, credit card debt, and even expensive personal items fall into this category. Many people believe their house is an asset. But if your house costs you money every month, mortgage, taxes, maintenance, it's actually a liability. The rich focus on buying assets that generate cash flow instead of liabilities that drain it. Robert's real father, whom he called Poor Dad, followed the traditional path. Study hard, get a good job, and save for retirement. But Rich Dad taught Robert that this mindset is flawed. Hard work alone won't build wealth. Financial literacy will. Instead of relying on a paycheck, Rich Dad encouraged Robert to start building assets early. Even with little money, a person can begin investing in stocks, real estate, or small businesses. The key is to develop the habit of using money to create more money. Robert realized that financial education isn't just about numbers. It's about understanding how money flows and how to make it work for you, rather than being controlled by it. Earning more money won't make you rich. Learning how to manage it will. The rich buy assets, the poor and middle class buy liabilities. Financial literacy is more important than job security. True wealth is built by making money work for you, not the other way around. Robert learned that without financial literacy, even a high salary wouldn't protect him from financial struggles. Understanding how to build and maintain wealth was the real key to financial freedom. So, what are you investing in? Assets or liabilities? Lesson 3. Mind your own business. After understanding the importance of financial literacy, Robert learned another crucial lesson from Rich Dad. Mind your own business. This didn't mean starting a company overnight, but rather shifting his mindset from being an employee to being an owner. The goal wasn't just to earn a paycheck, it was to build wealth by owning income-generating assets. Most people spend their lives working hard for someone else's business, whether it's a corporation, the government, or a small company. They trade their time for money, and no matter how much they earn, their financial security is always in someone else's hands. Rich Dad explained that even highly paid professionals, doctors, engineers, executives, often fall into the same trap. They spend years in school, get a good job, earn a high salary, but then become dependent on that income to maintain their lifestyle. If they lose their job, their financial situation crumbles. The wealthy, on the other hand, don't rely solely on earned income. Instead, they build businesses and acquire assets that generate passive income, allowing them to achieve financial independence. Robert initially thought that starting a business required a large amount of money or a groundbreaking idea, but Rich Dad corrected him. "Your business isn't necessarily a company," he explained. "Your business is your asset column. Even while working a regular job, anyone can start building assets on the side." Some examples include investing in real estate, buying rental properties that generate cash flow, buying stocks or dividend-paying assets, investing in companies that grow your wealth, creating intellectual property, writing books, making online courses, or licensing ideas, owning small businesses. Even a side hustle, if structured well, can grow into a wealth-building machine. Robert realized that true financial security doesn't come from a paycheck. It comes from having assets that make money for you, even when you're not working. Rich Dad emphasized the importance of thinking beyond job security. A job provides short-term income, but it doesn't create lasting wealth. A business or investment, however, continues to make money, often growing over time. The rich don't just work for money, they build systems that make money for them. This doesn't mean quitting your job immediately. Instead, it means being strategic. Keep your job, but use your income to acquire assets that eventually replace your need for a paycheck. Stop working only for a paycheck. Start working to build assets. Your business isn't necessarily a company. It's your asset column. True financial security comes from owning income-generating assets. Even with a job, you can start minding your own business by investing in real estate, stocks, or side ventures. Robert realized that the biggest mistake people make is spending their lives working for someone else's dream instead of building their own. By shifting his focus to owning assets, he was setting himself up for true financial freedom. So, the question is, are you working for someone else's business, or are you building your own? Lesson 4. The history of taxes and the power of corporations. One day, Rich Dad gathered Robert and Mike and asked them a simple question. Do you know why the rich get richer while the poor and middle class struggle? The answer, he explained, was in how money flowed through their hands. The wealthy understood two key principles that most people ignored: taxes and corporations. The boys had learned in school that taxes were meant to help society, pay for roads, schools, and hospitals. But what they didn't learn was that taxes were originally created to tax the rich, not the poor. However, as history unfolded, the burden of taxation slowly shifted from the wealthy to the middle and lower classes. Governments realized they could generate more revenue by taxing workers rather than the wealthy, who knew how to avoid high taxes legally. Rich Dad explained that employees, the poor and middle class, are taxed before they even see their earnings. When they receive their paycheck, taxes have already been deducted. On the other hand, the rich earn money, spend it on their businesses and investments, and then pay taxes on what's left. The difference is critical. The poor work harder, pay higher taxes, and see little in return. The rich use the system to their advantage. Rich Dad introduced Robert and Mike to the power of corporations. Unlike employees who pay taxes before they spend, corporations allow the wealthy to spend first and pay taxes later, or sometimes not at all. A corporation is not just a building or a big company. It's a legal structure that offers financial advantages. First, lower tax rates. Corporations are taxed differently than individuals, often at much lower rates. Second, expense deductions. Business owners can legally write off expenses such as travel, meals, vehicles, and even home office costs before paying taxes. And third, legal protection. Corporations separate personal assets from business assets, protecting wealth from lawsuits and liabilities. Rich Dad simplified it. The rich invent money through businesses and investments. The poor and middle class work for money and get taxed to death. This was a revelation for Robert. He had always thought that success meant earning more money, but now he understood that keeping more of what you earned was just as important. Most people accept taxes as an unavoidable burden. They work hard, get a raise, and unknowingly move into a higher tax bracket, giving away even more of their income. The rich, however, study tax laws, build businesses, and use legal strategies to minimize what they owe. This isn't about cheating the system. It's about understanding how the system works and using it legally and ethically to your advantage. Instead of complaining about taxes, Robert realized he needed to learn what the rich knew and apply it. The poor and middle class pay taxes before spending. The rich spend before paying taxes. Corporations allow the wealthy to reduce their taxes legally. Understanding tax laws and business structures can help anyone build wealth. Success isn't just about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Robert left the lesson with a new understanding. Making money was only half the equation. Keeping and growing it through smart financial structures was the real secret to wealth. So, the question is, are you working harder just to pay more taxes, or are you learning how to protect and grow your wealth? Lesson 5. The rich invent money. One afternoon, Rich Dad took Robert and Mike to a bustling part of town where entrepreneurs were running businesses, real estate signs lined the streets, and people were constantly on the move. He looked at them and said, "Money isn't real. It's an idea, and the rich know how to create it." Robert was confused. Wasn't money what people worked for every day? How could it not be real? Rich Dad explained that the wealthy don't wait for money to be handed to them. They don't depend on salaries or luck. They create money by identifying opportunities and taking calculated risks. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," the rich ask, "How can I afford it?" This mindset shift forces them to think creatively and find ways to make money work for them. He shared a story of how he once acquired a piece of real estate with no money down. He found a struggling property, negotiated seller financing, improved the property's value, and sold it for a profit, all without spending a dime of his own money. Most people think they need money to make money, Rich Dad said. But the rich know that money is created through knowledge, strategy, and the willingness to take action. Robert began to understand that financial intelligence, not just hard work, was what separated the wealthy from everyone else. Rich Dad explained that most people remain poor because of fear losing money and never take risks. Wait for opportunities instead of creating them. Work for money instead of making money work for them. The single most powerful asset we all have is our mind, Rich Dad said. If you train it well, it can create enormous wealth. People with low financial intelligence see obstacles. The rich see opportunities. When the economy crashes, the poor panic, while the wealthy look for investments at discounted prices. While most people fear debt, the rich use good debt, like real estate or business loans, to generate income. Fear holds most people back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making the wrong decision. But Rich Dad taught Robert that failure is part of learning. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, the wealthy embrace failure as feedback, learning from their mistakes and improving. He challenged Robert, "How many opportunities have you missed because you were afraid of losing money?" Robert realized he had been conditioned to play it safe, study hard, get a job, save money, and avoid risk. But the rich didn't get rich by playing it safe. They educated themselves, took calculated risks, and built wealth through action. Money is an idea. The rich invent money by finding and creating opportunities. Financial intelligence is more important than a high salary. Fear of failure holds most people back from wealth. Opportunities are everywhere. You just need the right mindset to see them. That day, Robert walked away with a new perspective. The rich don't wait for money to come to them, they create it. So, the question is, are you waiting for opportunities, or are you creating them? Lesson 6. Work to learn. Don't work for money. One afternoon, Robert and Mike found themselves at Rich Dad's office, observing the daily operations of his various businesses. Rich Dad leaned back in his chair, looking at them seriously. Most people work for money. The rich work to learn. Robert and Mike had always been taught that the goal of a job was to earn money. But Rich Dad had a different perspective, one that would change the way they saw work forever. Most people work hard in school, graduate, and find a job. Then, they spend their entire lives working for a paycheck. They climb the corporate ladder, hoping for promotions and raises, believing that earning more money will eventually lead to financial freedom. But in reality, they are trapped. The more they earn, the more they spend. They upgrade their homes, buy new cars, and take on more debt. Their expenses rise with their income, and they never truly escape the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. Rich Dad called this the rat race. People work harder, pay higher taxes, and try to save what little is left, only to find themselves still struggling financially at the end of their careers. If you work only for money, Rich Dad said, you become a slave to it. But if you work to learn, money will eventually work for you. Instead of chasing a paycheck, Rich Dad advised Robert to focus on acquiring financial skills. Skills that would allow him to create and control money rather than depend on a salary. He encouraged him to work in different roles, not for the income, but for the education. He emphasized learning key areas such as: first, sales and marketing. The ability to sell is one of the most important skills for financial success. Whether selling products, ideas, or even yourself, knowing how to persuade and influence people is invaluable. Second, investing and money management. Understanding how to grow and protect wealth is far more important than just earning money. Third, leadership and people skills. Managing teams, negotiating deals, and building strong relationships are crucial in business. And fourth, entrepreneurship and problem solving. Learning how to spot opportunities and build businesses creates real wealth. If you want to be rich, Rich Dad explained, you need to develop multiple skills, not just one. Society tells us to specialize, to become experts in a single profession. But Rich Dad warned that excessive specialization can limit financial growth. For example, a doctor or lawyer may earn a high income, but they are heavily taxed, work long hours, and their earnings stop when they stop working. On the other hand, an entrepreneur with financial intelligence can create systems and businesses that generate passive income, money that continues to flow even when they are not working. Rich Dad advised Robert to take jobs that exposed him to different industries, roles, and challenges. This way, he would develop a broad skill set that could help him create wealth rather than just earn a paycheck. Rich Dad shared stories of people who had worked to learn, rather than to earn. One example was a young woman who wanted to become a successful writer. Instead of getting a traditional writing job, she took a sales position to improve her marketing and communication skills. Later, when she published her books, she knew exactly how to sell them, making her more successful than other talented writers who lacked marketing knowledge. Another example was an employee who worked in a restaurant, not just to make money, but to learn the business from the inside. Later, he opened his own chain of restaurants and became financially free. The rich don't work for money, Rich Dad said. They work to build knowledge and experience that will make them wealthy. If you work only for money, you'll stay trapped in the rat race. Work to learn, not just to earn. Focus on financial education and valuable skills. Sales, investing, leadership, and entrepreneurship are crucial skills for wealth. Specialization can limit your financial growth. Diverse skills lead to greater opportunities. Success isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you know and how you apply it. Robert left that lesson realizing that the rich don't seek job security, they seek financial education. The more you learn, the more you earn. So, the question is, are you working for money, or are you working to learn? Throughout this journey, we've explored the powerful lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Lessons that challenge conventional wisdom about money, work, and wealth. We've learned that financial freedom isn't about working harder or earning more. It's about thinking differently, making smart financial choices, and continuously learning. Here's a quick recap of the key takeaways. First, the rich don't work for money. Instead of trading time for money, the wealthy focus on building assets that generate income. Second, why financial education matters. Schools teach us how to work for money, but not how to make money work for us. Third, mind your own business. True wealth comes from owning businesses and investments, not just earning a paycheck. Fourth, the rich invent money. The wealthy create opportunities, take calculated risks, and use financial intelligence to grow their wealth. Fifth, work to learn, not for money. Instead of chasing a high salary, develop skills that will help you build long-term financial success. The principles in this book aren't just theories. They are life-changing strategies that can help anyone break free from the rat race. But knowledge alone isn't enough. The key is action. So, what will you do differently starting today? Will you start investing in your financial education? Will you look for ways to generate passive income? Or will you break free from the paycheck mentality and start building your own wealth? If you enjoyed this summary and found it valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Also, share your thoughts in the comments. What lesson resonated with you the most? Thank you for tuning in, and remember, financial freedom starts with the right mindset. Keep learning, keep growing, and take control of your financial future.